Yeah. Okay, well, before we get started, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. Uh, well, my name is Shimong Zhang, and I'm originally from Fresno, California. I'm a research science intern at the Urban Ecology Center, and I'm in a undergrad student at U of Milwaukee, majoring in conservation and environmental science. I also want to share a little background of what I did at my old job in California. I was a fishery biologist assistant for the Department in Fish and Wildlife. In this position, I did a lot of kokanee salmon tagging, electrofishing, fish survey, and data entry. My team and I also traveled throughout California and the mountains of the Sierras and did surveys on golden trout, steelheads, and brook trouts as well. And here on the left uh, picture here is that's a kokanee. Here's me right here at Bass Lake. And on the right here, we were at San Joaquin Valley River. We were doing electrofishing. And here are the mountains. This is Hot Creek Lake or river. And my team and I up at Tipperton Meadow right here. And on the bottom picture right here, we were taking a break. We were super tired. And my second job, I worked at a private company called Kid Biological. In this position, I monitor and ban over 20 burrowing owls at a military base in Lemoore, California. I also did raptor nest surveys such as golden eagles, red-tailed hawks, and Swainson hawks. I'll show you pictures. Here's me and the little owls. This is my supervisor. And here are the nests that I went and did monitoring or survey. Here are the baby burrowing owls I banned. The two adults right here. I miss these guys so much. I wonder how they're doing. Yeah, and in addition to my work, I'm also very passionate about birds and wildlife, especially when it comes to endangered species such as the bald eagles, California condor, and the great gray owl. Their conservation status may vary in different states, but in California, the California condor and the great gray owl are listed as endangered species. And that was one of the reasons why I became a wildlife photographer because I really want to capture these rare birds in photo and because I want to share my experience, what I see, what I capture in the field, and photograph them the best way to share my experience for everyone. Like for example, taking pictures of the amazing bald eagles and sharing to everyone here. And here's one of my pictures. I want to share to you guys my one of my best pictures. I think it was one of my best pictures. This is a humpback whale I took at Monterey Bay, um, a sandhill crane at Merced Wildlife Refuge, a golden eagle when I was doing my burrowing owl survey, and the California condor at Pinnacle National Park, and the bald eagle that was tagged. I was doing a golden trout survey up in Hensley Lake, and I found this guy. Yeah, so and for that, today's topic is about bald eagles. The reason why I chose the bald eagle was because I remember reading an article online about them and their population in Wisconsin. It was crazy because at the same time I was doing my research paper on California condors, the two avian had a very similar backstory. Their population were listed endangered due to DDT and habitat loss, and I felt that there was a connection between these two amazing birds. And of course, as I was reading more into the article, the bald eagles made a huge comeback, and their conservation status has been listed. That was listed endangered was removed. That was last year, and like here I am talking about bald eagles. It's just an amazing feeling. Um, yeah, so the bald eagle is an iconic bird by popular opinion among Americans living in the United States, as they serve as symbol of strength and bravery. For example, common comparisons using the bald eagles for strength and bravery include comic books with superheroes such as Superman, Supergirl, Captain America, that also symbolize U.S. triumph. In a related way, bald eagles have been incorporated in many versions of both our coins and paper money, and currently on the back of a quarter and dollar bills that promote freedom. However, 40 years ago, bald eagles, as iconic as these birds are, they were officially declared uh, endangered species in all areas of the United States, including Wisconsin. Some keys of the reason of their decline was habitat destruction, forest degradation, poaching, and contamination of its food source due to the use of pesticides called DDT. So what are bald eagles? Well, the common name, bald eagle, and the scientific name, hopefully I don't butcher the scientific name. I think it's called Hyliades luciophilus, and they are in the family of Accipitridae, also known as the hookbill birds, such as kites, fish eagles, old world vultures, the snake eagles, harriers, and buzzards. The bald eagle is a bird of prey found in North America. It has two known subspecies and formed as a species pair with the sea eagle and the white-tailed eagle. Its range include most in Canada and Alaska, and most throughout the United States and northern Mexico. The bald eagle's wingspan is the second longest among the top five largest North American birds. Their wingspan is about 81-inch long, or you could say 70 feet long, and it's the second place on the list, shared with the golden eagles, which has nearly the same wingspan. Uh, the top five with the longest wingspan have long and narrow wings suitable for maintaining flight without or little wing flapping, like the big birds like California condors and the turkey vultures have special tendons to allow them to lock their extended wings. These birds can spend long periods of time soaring and gliding effortlessly. Bald eagle's wingspan and shape are ideal for combining gliding with a flight that involves wing flapping. They also spend long periods of time soaring without flapping its wing too. The eagle eye is one of the strongest animal kingdom with the eyesight estimated for like 4 to 8 times stronger than that of the average human. Eagle have highly developed sense of sight, which allow them to easily spot prey. Eagles have excellent 25 visions compared to an average human who only has 20/20 vision. This means eagles can see things from 20 feet away that we can only see from 5 feet away. Bald eagles rely on their talons to survive. They are part of the fish eagle group, named for the preference consuming primarily large fish. With this, they likely to make their homes or nests near open water along the river so that they can catch the prey. Bald eagles use their talons to capture, subdue, and kill the prey by mostly holding down their prey while tearing small pieces of meat with their hook-like beak. And another function for their talons is to transport nesting materials or perch on branches of different sizes or groom themselves. For these reasons, a bald eagle's talons are the most important part of their body because the talons are the sole hunting tool and they depend on it entirely for survival. Habitat preservation is important to the reproductive survival of bald eagles. These birds mate for life and create their nesting sites usually in large white pines or other tall trees near along water sources. This strategy that the bald eagles use to preserve their energy searching for prey. Bald eagles pair will construct their nest cooperatively, returning to reuse it every spring. By reusing their old nest, bald eagles will use less energy to construct a new one. However, though bald eagles have no natural predators, that does not mean that the bald eagles as a species face no danger. Uh, humans only or not, have become bald eagle's greatest threat through a couple of ways. One way was habitat destruction, the other is poaching. But the most destructive activity on habitat is the development of waterfront properties. Since bald eagles depend on shorelines habitats and aquatic food sources, human development in these areas poses the greatest threat to the bald eagle survival. Bald eagle do not respond well when they are disturbed by human activities. Excuse me. During a nest building period, for example, bald eagles may not lay any eggs due to human disturbance or may abandon their nest entirely, both of which can lead to failed nesting attempts. And during incubation and hatching period, human activities may startle adults or cause them to flush out their nest and they will never return. And I want to share you guys a short clip of someone flying a drone into a bald eagle's nest, making those both of the parents left their nest and never came back. So, here it is.
We can't quite hear it. If you pause it, I think if you stop sharing, or when you go to new share, there'll be a share video clip option in the bottom left. So if you go to new share, select this page again, and at the very bottom left there should be an option for
share sound. There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yep. Go ahead and try again.
Okay.
Well, Julie, the East Bay Regional Parks District says their detective and federal agents are still investigating, but they want to make it clear that drones are banned in all parts of the parks.
High up in a eucalyptus tree.
We noticed that this beautiful nest, they've been working on it since last year. Every day they came back to build it and make it better and stronger.
Residents near Ardenwood Farm in Fremont took note of their new neighbors. Photographer Dan Sarka captured the pair of majestic eagles with his camera.
They're so devoted to each other. They're working almost continuously, building their home and trying to go over to the lake and capture food. And so their survival is at stake.
The eagles were nesting. But on April 20th, that suddenly changed.
We noticed on the 20th that the eagles were very agitated, more than usual. And they were like just flying all over the place.
It was a shock.
Sarka looked over his photos of the nest and then noticed one showing something strange, what appeared to be a possible part from a drone. Sarka immediately contacted the East Bay Regional Parks District.
It was just shocking. It's just like that's something that should not happen.
Doug Bell is Wildlife Program Manager. He alerted the federal and state departments of Fish and Wildlife. He says up until April 19th, the eagles had appeared to be caring for young.
The two adults were attending the nest. They were switching out, either incubating eggs at that point or brooding perhaps a small chick. If there were young chicks in the nest and that drone was preventing the adults from either brooding them or feeding them or taking care of them, then they could be close to starvation.
Bell says that drones are banned from all of their parks. And although bald eagles are no longer on the federal endangered species list, they are still on California's endangered list and have other federal protections.
It still falls under the Bald and Golden Eagle Protection Act.
Bell says right now they don't know what happened to the eagle's eggs or chicks, but it is devastating to have their breeding disrupted.
They basically have one shot a year at this.
My husband and I have been outside and noticed several times drones flying around when we've been outside in our neighborhood right here. I'm devastated that this has happened.
The Parks District tells me that they actually used a professional drone operator to take a look inside the nest, but the mystery continues. When they looked inside, the initial images showed that it was empty. We do understand from the Parks District that if a drone operator is found to blame, it could come with a penalty of up to $100,000 in a fine or 1 year in jail. Jana Katsuyama, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
All right. And so that was sad news, and
the quiz show that takes contestants for a look.
Which is the real flag of France? Lock it in. Fail.
Oh, no! Returns.
I don't do roller coasters, Rob. Do you know what's ahead of you?
Rob Lost's Mental Samurai premieres Tuesday.
Okay, sorry. Share screen. There we go. All right. So, and also adding to that, the cutting of white pine trees to build housing and for commercial use has threatened where bald eagles typically nest and perch. While these white pine trees are convenient for housing developments, they destroy bald eagles nesting sites. And here's a picture of construction cutting down a tree with a bald eagle's nest on top. The other problem that bald eagles face is poaching. Poaching is the second way that humans greatly threaten the livelihood of bald eagles. Throughout its history, the bald eagles has suffered persecution by farmers and landowners who suspected of preying on their livestock, and they shoot them down. Up to this point, many eagles' deaths still result from misinformation about bald eagles preying on livestock. In addition, bald eagles can often get caught in leg traps when people use them to capture other predators such as coyotes or raccoons or foxes. Bald eagles get caught in these leg traps and may be crippled because when they see an opportunity of the animal that was trapped, they will go and feeds off on the trap bait or animal that caught in the trap. And as a result, it'll cripple the bald eagle and will become unable to fend for itself in the wild. Other where poaching for bald eagles are like for bald eagles' feathers. Poachers will also kill bald eagles, and the price of a single feathers can be sold around $3,000. In 2009, 4 people were arrested by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service for selling bald eagles' feathers to an undercover agent. According to Marge Gibson, director of the Raptor Education Group in Milwaukee, there has been 25 bald eagle shootings just last year in the northern Milwaukee. No suspect has been arrested, unfortunately. This just shows that even laws are made, people are still out there hunting and shooting these birds. It's still happening to this day. However, by the 1930s, people became aware nationally of the bald eagle's population. One major national response to protect the bald eagle species was introduced in 1940, the Bald Eagles Act. Criminalized any endangerment of the bald eagle's population. This legislation was seeking to reduce the harassment on bald eagles population by humans, so its population could begin to recover. Under the Bald Eagle Protection Act, the first criminal offense is misdemeanor with maximum penalty of 1 year in prison, $100,000 fine for an individual. The second offense becomes a felony with maximum penalty for 2 years and $250,000 fine for that person. And the Bald Eagle Protection Act also provides for maximum civil penalties for $5,000 for each violation. However, at the same time, DDT and other pesticides began to be used widely throughout all over the United States, which threatened bird species' reproductive survival. Pesticides spray plants were eaten by small animals, which later consumed by birds of prey. DDT became widely hailed as the best pesticides for killing mosquitoes and insects. But however, in birds, DDT inhibit the impregnations of calcium in eggshells. Although eagles were crushing their eggs underneath them during incubations, the eggshells becomes thin to withstand the incubation period and were often crushed. Eggs that were not crushed during incubation are often do not hatch due to a high level of DDT. In addition, a large quantity of DDT were discovered in the fatty tissue of dead bald eagles, which have caused them to become infertile. In 1967, only 72 bald eagles' nests were recorded in the entire state of Wisconsin. There were only 417 breeding pairs throughout the entire country, United States. And their comeback of bald eagles. Fortunately, on 1972 habitat protection afforded by the Endangered Species Act, the federal government banned the use of DDT, and conservation action taken by the DNR helped bald eagles make their remarkable recovery. The bald eagles population quadrupled in size since 2009, with 300,000 individual bald eagles were spotted and 70,000 nesting pairs recorded during the 2019 breeding season. While back in 2009, there were only 70,000 individual and 30,000 nests in pairs. The eagles population rebound and eagles were no longer listed as endangered. It's endangered species. Many state and federal agency cease or scale back on yearly eagle nest survey in order to put conservation funds towards other endangered species. I remember reading an article on Facebook about bald eagles in Wisconsin and how their population rebound back. And it was one of the most successful story, not just for Wisconsin, but throughout the whole nations, because these birds were once endangered, but now they're not. And they're doing a lot better. Bald eagles have made a remarkable comeback in the US. And here's a photo of bald eagle sighting reports by the DNR Bald Eagle Survey have shown numbers soaring from 108 occupied nests in the early 1970s to a record of 1,695 in 2019, expanding to 71 of Wisconsin's 72 counties. The recovery of bald eagle was made possible by the national ban of pesticide DDT in 1972, which caused thinning eggshells leading to nest failures, added protection from under the federal and state endangered species laws, river cleanups, public donation, and monitoring by the DNR's natural conservation programs and partners. Wisconsin Bald Eagle's license plate also celebrates the success of raising money to help drive the next conservation status. Oops. Oops. And yeah, and with that, that is the end of my presentations. I hope you all enjoyed, and now I will take any questions.